This is my sketch illustration of a scarecrow, and today I'll guide you through each of the steps so that you could draw this yourself. So grab a pencil and paper and let's get started. Welcome back everyone, and thanks for joining me today. Halloween is just a few weeks away, so I thought it'd be fun to create our own rendition of a scarecrow. And for this lesson, I'll be drawing with this 0.7mm mechanical pencil with a 2B graphite stick. Now if you don't have a mechanical pencil, anything you have around the house will work just fine. Now I want to begin by blocking the basic shape and pose of the head before we get into the details. So start by sketching a line coming down the center of our page. From the very top, I'm just going to lightly work my way down towards the bottom. This is the guideline to help with the balance and symmetry. Now from the center, let's draw another line going across from left to right. Now I want to use these two lines to help us create a large circle in the center of our page to define the size of the head. So from the center point, I'm just going to mark this off right about here. And then we want to measure this distance from the center down towards the bottom. So mark that off. And we'll do the same thing across our horizontal line. So measuring the distance from the center towards the left and then the right side. Now I want to connect the center point of each mark with a curve to create our circle. So we'll start with the top left and just work our way around. And the circle doesn't have to be perfect. We're just using this as a guide. Just go back and smooth this out as best we can. Let's add another set of lines coming down the side of our circle. So on the left and right side. And we'll add one more line going across the bottom of our circle. Now with the circle and guidelines in place, let's start blocking out the main facial features. Now I want to start by bringing the hat down across the head. So we're going to be tilting the head forward. So in the center, let's draw a straight angle line going up and then out toward the left and then the right side. Now I want to wrap the hat brim towards the back of the head. So we're going to connect these two lines with a curve. We're going to go up above our circle and then back down. Let's extend the lines along the side up toward the top, and this will help us align the hat. And then along this curve, we're just going to bend this up and then in on both sides. Let's flop the hat over towards the right. So from here, it's going to angle this up and across toward the top of our page. Go straight across towards the right. Now right here, it's going to bend this down. Let's go back in and then down towards the bottom. Now since we're tilting the head forward, the eye's going to sit along the bottom. So let's step down, draw another line going across, and it'll create a gap in between the eyes. On the left, we're going to step over, draw one line coming down, take that same distance over towards the right. And now from these 2 points, it's going to curve the brow, coming in and then up. Let's go back to the bottom, angle the eyes, going up and then out. Let's draw the bottom of the eye. On the left side, we'll step in, curve this down towards the bottom, and just pull that up towards the inside. So we have a little point along the bottom edge of the eye. Now we're going to follow the mouth along the bottom of our circle. So we're going to go up and then angle that down along the side. And let's open up the mouth. We're going to come down with a straight angled line on the left and right, all the way down towards the bottom, and I'm just going to round this out. Now we're going to draw the perimeter of the head. Let's start underneath the hat on the left, angle this down and out, around the mouth. And I want to bend this down and then in towards the center, going around the mouth. Now there's going to be a rope that's tied around the neck, so we're going to push the fabric out. So from this point, bend this down and out on the side, goes down in the middle, across, and then back up. Now with the rough sketch in place, I'm going to go back and clean this up by erasing some of these guidelines. Now once we clean up our drawing, I'm going to use this rough sketch as a guide to help us layer on some more details and refine the shapes. Just want to add a little bit of bend to the bottom edge of the hat brim, also adding some notches along the way. And you don't want the hat to look too symmetrical, so we're just going to offset the left and right side, also breaking up the edge. And also curve the back side of the hat, coming in behind the head. And I'm also going to bring some of that hay coming out from the hat around the side of the head. So it looks almost like hair coming down. So I'm just adding some guides first. Not getting too detailed with this. Just gonna add some folds across the edge of the hat. Right here, just gonna add a fold across that tip. So we're just bending it along this edge. And then to add a band going across. And also add a stitch line going across the hat, down towards the bottom, and a little bit of patchwork along the top. And now we're just going to go and work our way around the eyes. So we're going to start with that fold along the inside, also adding some more folds and wrinkles coming across. And then just adding some more shape to the top edge of the eyelid. Bring this around, and just folding this across. Work our way across the bottom of the eye. And then with the mouth, we're just going to stretch some of that fabric coming in between and just tearing up the edge of the mouth. These little points coming down. Add some angles coming across. We also want to tear open the bottom. Let's add some more folds coming up from the edge of the mouth and then coming down across the bottom. We'll add some stitches going across the face. Now with the side of the head, we just want to pull some of that fabric in. So you're going to see some wrinkles across the bottom edge. So we can start from the chin. So we can start with that main fold and just work our way around the jaw. So just pulling these lines going up, stepping back, and just working our way across, just repeating that same step. Now I can draw the edge of the rope coming underneath the head, then add some of that texture going across. And then that fabric across the bottom. Again, we just want to tear up the edge, just ripping it open. And then from here, we're going to, again, pull the fabric in, so we're going to see some of these wrinkles going out. You can also add some holes inside. Okay, now I'm going to go back in with my 0.9mm pencil and start adding some more details and refining the shapes. So I want to start with the edge of the hat again, also adding some more cuts and tears along the way. So we're just working with a rough sketch underneath, just using that as our guide. So I'm just bringing some of that fabric coming down. And now we're going to add some thickness to the hay coming down from the head. So from the top, I'm just going to darken that up. Just follow these roughly across the outside. Just adding some layers. Also have some of that hay just overlapping the eyes. to give it a little bit more depth. And we're going to layer the detail of the eyes underneath. So you can see that I'm going to start applying these thick and thin lines. So the thick lines will sit along the bottom edge or in the middle of each curve. And this will help give some weight to our drawing. And it also resembles some of the shadow areas. So the eyes along the bottom edge will have some shadow. And then the highlights will sit along the top edge. Now for reference, the light source is going to sit along the top of our page coming across. So the shadows sit along the bottom and the highlights along the top of each shape. Now I'm going to go back in and just tear up the edge of the mouth. And also pulling some of those wrinkles going up. Just enhance those folds. Just going to darken them up in the middle and then just blend them out. So we're actually just stretching that band across the head. We're going to do one final cleanup before we get into some more details and shading. I'm just going to lightly use the side edge of my pencil and just darken up the inside of the hat along the bottom side. We'll do the same thing inside the eyes. And then also the mouth. And I'm going to go back and just darken up the top area of the hat and then fade that down. So the light's going to sort of leak inside the bottom edge of the hat, where the shadow will be darker across the top. Now I'm just going to use the side edge of my 2mm mechanical pencil to add some soft shadows. So I'm going to start along the bottom of the head. Again, the light's coming down, so the shadows sit on the bottom edge of each shape. So the head curves in underneath, blocking all that light from the top. And then along the base of the head, on this fabric, I'm just going to pull this out. So the head's actually casting a shadow along that fabric. Now the hat's going to cast a shadow across the top of the head, going across the brow. And that hay will also cast a little bit of a shadow across the side. So I'm just going to add these thick, soft lines. Now I can go back and add those stitches. Now, as we get closer to the end, I'm just going to tighten up my shadows and details, and always be sure to sign my artwork, and that's pretty much it. There's a sketch illustration of a scarecrow. I hope you enjoyed today's lesson. If you did, please be sure to subscribe for more videos each day where I'll show you how to draw different characters just like this. I want to thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.